It's a national emergency. The Delta strain is taking over and New South Wales is fighting a losing battle. We want you to be part of the winning team, so Premier Berefta-Clues is setting the gold standard once again by diverting all the Pfizer shots to Sydney. Well, most of Sydney. If you're from the western suburbs, we'll get to you eventually. And if you're from one of the lesser states like Queensland or Victoria, there's still plenty of AstraZeneca left for you. So let's make Sydney great again. Book your jab today. This message is sponsored by the Liberal Party and also Harvey Norman.
Good morning and welcome to ABC in Snyders. My name is David Sky News, and our very, very special guest today here on In Snyders is a lady who may have been unlucky in love, but who still nonetheless saved the great nation of New South Wales, along with its far-flung bush provinces, from total devastation. A gold standard morning to you, New South Wales Premier Glad Rags Berefta-Clues.
Thank you, David. It's very nice to be here.
It's very nice to have you here, Madam Premier. I'd just like to say once again, on behalf of our sponsors, I mean listeners, you are doing an outstanding job, not only in leading the great nation of New South Wales during these troubling and trying times, but also in providing a role model for the Labor Party yokels, occupying the dystopian Mad Max-style desert hellscape that makes up much of the rest of this vast and, dare I say, abhorrent continent. I know I speak for us all when I say thank you, Madame Premier.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there, David. Thank you. You really do your research. My role as the gold standard Premier of the state of Sydney and a beacon and trailblazer for all those in other states sleeping rough out in the country is just such a great privilege.
Oh, it's a great privilege to have you in here in the studio, Miss Berefta-Clues. Did I mention that earlier? But it is.
Yes, thank you.
All right, let's move on. Now, despite your incredible leadership, there are a few terribly mean and beastly critics who have dared to question your COVID response. And I'm sorry to have to bring this to your attention, Madam Premier, but even compared you with that dastardly Premier dictator Dan Andrews. What do you say to those ungrateful churls and serfs?
Well, look, I think what's important to know is that there is no roadmap when it comes to the Delta variant, or indeed the godforsaken ruination north of Tweed Heads or south of Albury.
Oh, indeed, Premier. But still, some impertinent people have suggested that Victoria actually did provide the roadmap by getting the Delta variant under control with hard, fast lockdowns and mandatory mask wearing.
Well, you know, David, while I do very much like hard and fast activity, looking at what's happening frantically over your shoulder isn't always that productive. It certainly doesn't mean we should learn from it. Now, I don't like to comment on other states, as you know, no, David.
Never.
So let's not forget that other states, and I don't like to point the finger at anyone in particular, not even Dictator Dan or Princess Palaszczuk, but these states might be facing regular lockdowns.
What?
and enforced mask wearing.
Oh.
I mean,
Dear,
I know.
dear.
I mean, they're just in and out all the time, David. I mean, for goodness sake, constant in and out can really begin to chafe,
You're telling me.
especially in the absence of some sort of slick and well-oiled exit strategy.
That's certainly my strategy too. Now, perhaps you can detail how you plan to get the infection rate down without very hard lockdowns and mask wearing, such as in the outlying outpost of Victoria.
Well, I'd love to, David. It's really very simple. Also, as I've said, it's not for me to comment on the Badlands states or their clearly primitive methods.
You never would, Premier. You're far too dignified.
I mean, those poor people in Victoria and
dreadful.
Queensland, of course we're not going to go in and out of lockdown willy-nilly. We're not going to force people to wear masks either, apart, of course, in their private lives. I mean, sure, maybe it works, but that's no reason for us to do it.
No.
Not only does this interfere with all our very important business partners like Harvey Norman, who might show a slightly reduced profit because of it, but it was a Labor Party plan, for goodness sake. No, I'm very proud of our gold standard strategy. Our plan is to hell with lockdowns and those annoying masks. Let's just get those vaccination rates to 50 or maybe 20, 10. 10% of the population will do.
Oh, ample, Premier. But some people say we don't have enough vaccines and indeed may not until Christmas.
Well, of course we don't, David. That's why we're stealing them from other states and from the enormous stockpile hoarded for us by the wonderful Prime Minister of New South Wales, Scott Morrison. And so I look forward to when we can live freer than other states because we are more vaccinated, probably by the end of next week.
Oh, goody. Now, how will these vaccines be distributed, Premier? There has also been criticism about New South Wales allegedly getting preferential treatment from the federal government and that some areas of New South Wales are being unfairly advantaged over others.
Well, look, once again, that's absolutely right, David. I mean, we are the state that saved Australia for starters, and we even started the Delta variant. So, of course, we'll get the lion's share of any vaccines, especially the ones that work, like Pfizer. And as for some areas of New South Wales getting preferential treatment, well, all I can say is I completely agree with Minister Brad Healthhazard. If you come here from other countries, particularly ones we don't like, and then move to Sydney's Western Labor-held suburbs where you've lived for possibly 50 years, then you're single-handedly responsible for the spread of these Delta germs. So you can hardly expect us to help you, now can you?
Of course not. What a brilliant strategy, Premier, and well said. Now, what about the complaints concerning the alleged pork barrelling of redistributed vaccines from regional areas?
Oh, David, some people are just never happy, are they?
Oh,
I mean,
never.
Yes, regional communities, particularly remote Indigenous communities, are at greater risk, but that doesn't mean we'll be prioritising them over the VIPs on the North Shore. I mean, for heaven's sake, some of these VIP families even have children studying VC at exclusive schools, so obviously that would just be barbaric.
Oh, barbaric like those outlying states or badlands, as you put it. Premier, you do think of everything.
I do indeed, David. They don't call me gold standard glad rags for nothing.
They don't indeed. Well, Madam Premier, it's been an absolute delight, a treasure, a memory that I will cherish for the rest of my days to have you on our program again, but I'm sorry to say we're out of time. I just want to say on behalf of us, the ABC, and indeed the great nation of Australia, and myself personally in particular, thank you so much for saving the day once again. Premier, glad rags, bereft of clues.
It's been my absolute pleasure to save you and to be on your fine program, David, Sky News, once again. And to show my government's appreciation, as promised, I've brought an advanced media release for your follow-up article, detailing how we've managed to get the community infection rate down to just one local case next week. And our vaccination rate is now at 89%, including 100% of VC students at Sydney Grammar School and at the King's School.
High school students are the political leaders of the future. The New South Wales government has managed to divert thousands of Pfizer shots from Labor seat regions in order to protect your Year 12 students from the nasty Delta strain at all costs. Auntie Gladbags, she'll look after you. Book your appointment today for a free Scott Morrison pencil case and a Liberal Party pin for your blazer. This message is sponsored by the Liberal Party and also Harvey Norman.
Not forgetting Scots College and Cranbrook and St Ignatius.